Hello and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. Welcome to the family. We chose this one. This is Life in the Fast Lane, number 21. Episode 333. Jesus, I'm rusty, even though we
333 is a great number. You skipped.
333 is a great number. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too.
And we are kicking things off as we do, without question, every time. It feels so natural every time. We are kicking things off with the Fast and Furious minute from Too Fast, Too Furious, minute 96.
Put her downstairs. See you in a second.
I thought you was dead, man.
Yeah, me too. They should save my ass, bro.
What are you doing, Brian?
I don't know, but if Verone sees a helicopter or customs boat, she's dead.
Boat, car, boat. You're not gonna do what I think you're gonna do.
Yeah, I think so. You got my back, bro?
Yeah.
All right, man, put on the seatbelt.
You on some real Dukes of Hazzard shit, bro.
We're gonna do this big. Hold on, Rome. Hold on.
Oh, Brian, you crazy, man. The hell you doing?
So in this minute, Carter has one of his goons escort Monica into the belly of the boat. Brian and Roman then race toward Carter's boat to save Monica. They catch up quickly as Roman realizes what Brian's plan might be. Jump the car onto the boat. They buckle up. Brian revs the engine, pushing to nearly 120 miles per hour as they hit a ramp and fly. Carter turns to see what's flying toward him before racing to take cover as the minute ends. And Joe, the big thing is that last minute we were talking about, are they going to jump on the next minute? Are they going to jump on the next minute?
They get to it.
And it's kind of yes and no. Like, they make the jump, but they don't jump onto the boat. So both options were kind of right.
But they don't drag out the, racing down. Like, we were getting to we're about to jump on the fucking boat.
But they make the jump. They are in the air. And we'll talk more about this crash landing a little bit later in the episode. But I was honestly surprised how quickly they got to here from where we were in the last minute.
I 100% agree. I did not think that we would make it even nearly this far. The car is in the air at the end of this minute.
Beaming down on Carter's boat.
Yes. So that's further than I thought that we would have gotten.
We also get, for the first time, I think in a while, an insert shot of the speedometer, and we actually get two of them in this. We see him hitting 90, and we see him hitting 120, but I feel like that's a staple of these early movies, and I don't think we've had that in a while, have we?
Ooh, especially because we just watched F9 today. No, I don't. They've kind of, we've talked about it. We don't get as much interior shots and stuff like that, but even in all of Too Fast, Singleton really liked the inside of the cars, but wouldn't really show you much.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing a shot of the speedometer is kind of interesting. That's why I made a note too that he's almost going 120. It cuts away right before he hits it. I did notice that and was like, "Oh, this is cool." Yeah.
They really want you to think, bro, look how crazy this shit is.
Yeah.
Even though they're literally jumping a car onto a boat, they're like, bro, he's doing $120. It's like, yeah, we know he needs to go really fast because he's driving a car onto a boat
that's moving, and the car is moving, and one's in water. Yeah. But they do it well. And we'll talk about, spoilers, we'll talk about how in a little bit.
There's two things about, the bulk of this minute is the Brian and Roman conversation in their car.
Yeah, car, boat, car, boat, car,
which
boat.
We'll get to that too.
Yeah.
But Brian and Roman, their exchange, I wrote down here, is breathless. They basically edit out every, it's like how I used to edit the podcast where I'm just we can't have dead air, we can't have dead space, I have to cut out every single second, and it's just there's one ends a line, the other one begins a line immediately afterwards. And I know that they're excited about it, but it feels extra crazy. But then the weirder part, and I think I only realized that because I watched this 10 times in a row, whatever.
Yes.
But the weirder part to me is Roman says, a normal line, "You're not going to do what I think you're going to do." And Brian says, "Yeah, I think so." It's you should know what you're going to do. The fact that he says, "I think so,"
no,
is
he's
weird
saying
to me.
he's saying, "I think you know what I'm thinking about doing," is what it is. he's like, you're not going to do what I think you're going to do. He's like, I think we're thinking the same thing. And he's like, no. That's what it is. I think he's confirming.
So he's not saying I think I know what I'm going to do. He's saying I think you think
know what
you know.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
That's what I perceive that as.
The only other thing of note that I found in here is that a new song starts, which I love. So the previous song ends in the score, Monica exposed - Roman's the rescue. That continues and ends in this minute, and a new one begins called Dukes of Hazzard Stunt, which is referencing this. I just think it's kind of funny to have a song called Dukes of Hazzard Stunt, but here we are. But there's some stuff that you found, Joe. What did you find in this minute in Too Fast, Too Furious?
I found that this was shot at Bill Bragg's Cape Florida State Park. I have the link to the Florida State Park there, and it's hard because it's not a Google Street View walk-around place, but I think that this, like if you click on the address of it, I think that this is probably where they did it. Because look, it's like a flat boat landing that goes onto water. It seems...
maybe.
It looks like this would be a good place to do it, but you can't kind of walk around the edge. I couldn't do scoping beyond that, but I did look at a few pictures around here based on the address and like where it was telling me, and I think that this might be a good spot for it. If I had to like shoot jumping a car onto a boat, pretty much like a straight flat edge that you could build a ramp off of, looks like this would be a great spot to do, right?
Yeah, very true.
Because you could just kind of line up a camera on the side right here, and it would look like that's what happened.
We'll talk about it later, but like the way that they crash land the car into the water in the edit feels like you need to crash into like a sort of a shallow, and this feels like it would be kind of shallow, right? So
yes, I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So there was that, and then I had to call in an expert, Joey.
Someone who was a former bartender?
I did. There is a few bottles of alcohol behind Carter Verone, very out of focus.
Mm-hmm.
And I could only recognize one. The one that I definitely knew was the Kettle One vodka. Next to it, we collaborated. The resident expert was Rachel. I called her in to help. The one that we collaborated to the right of it has a red top and a square bottle. We both assumed that was Beef Eater Gin.
Okay. Fits
the description. Behind the Kettle One vodka, adding a blue tinge to the Kettle One vodka bottle, is Bombay Sapphire.
So far he's got one vodka, two gins.
Wait, and then there's a green bottle behind the Beef Eater Gin, which we presume, but don't know, is a dry vermouth. He's just making martinis, bud.
He's making
vodka,
martinis.
A bunch
Got
of
it.
martinis,
Okay.
and it makes total sense, right?
Sure.
Next to that, he is the bartender tool set in the champagne bucket, but I think that really he just has a nice little martini set up there. Do you want vodka one, gin, dry gin, sapphire, whatever you want? He got it. And also it kind of feels
so
appropriate.
you can have any drink you want as long as it's a martini.
Yeah, on Carter Verone's yacht, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it also feels kind of right? This feels like a Carter Verone kind of like, I just drink martinis on my yacht, and like Eva Mendes has to drink martinis on my yacht. It feels like character appropriate.
Well, what's
too.
also what it feels like not dunking on martinis. I'm not really a big mixed drink guy. I mostly drink beer. I would like to. I just whatever.
I like martini. A real dirty. If you do you ever drink a martini?
Mm-mm.
No.
Real dirty means lots of olives. Is that what that means?
Yeah. I like them really dirty. If you get a lot of olive juice in there, they're really good. And I prefer gin martinis over vodka martinis. A lot of people like vodka martinis over gin martinis, but that's my
I just think
way to
it's
do
really
it.
funny that like to me it makes perfect sense that Carter Verone's like, bro, you know what the classiest drink is? James Bond shit, just martinis. Like that's like it feels like we don't see them, but just like, you know, the best drink, it's what James Bond drinks. Why would you want to drink anything else? Like it feels like kind of like I'm ascribing kind of like Wolf of Wall Street kind of, you know, that kind of like, bro, this is like the best. No, you want a martini.
Also, they're like
martinis.
they're almost an acquired taste, so they're like they have some power man juice to them in the sense that like, you know what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say? Like they're like
power man juice.
Power man juice. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. So I think that he would definitely be like, and not even because of James, he'd be like, no, he shakes them. Nobody drinks it like that. Like that's only for like sissies. And you'd be like, oh no.
I do. So what's funny to me, though, about the overall like timing of this minute is that we really only have like 4 minutes left. Like we were talking about like whether we're going to get there or not. Like the movie's like 106 minutes long, but there's like 5 or 6 minutes of credits. So we really only have like 4 minutes left. And there's a lot that has to happen. So it's going to
very
kind
quickly
of feel breathless in a way like they've got to land, they've got to handle that, they got to get off the boat, they got to do the conversation.
Well, they don't get off the boat. They just like appear on the shore.
Like they have to get from the boat to the shore, right?
It's
like
just a hard cut, though, from what I remember.
But there's still like so much to do like in 4 minutes, right? Before, so it's like,
oh yeah, we're gonna wrap up this whole fucking movie in 4 minutes, like really quick. And pockets ain't empty, everything. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So like I know what happens between now and the end of the movie, but I don't know what is in this next minute. So I'm excited. 3 weeks from now, we're gonna find out.
I'm excited too. And this was a pretty good minute. It wasn't. It happens quickly. And there's not a ton to look at in the background, but there is some stuff, and we get the jump. I was worried that we were going to drag out this, but I think that they actually did a good job of making this an appropriate length of time to give you the, like, let your brain process what's happening. Roman establishes it with the car, boat, right to the ramp, hit it, boom, done. Show you the speed, show you the boat, hit the ramp, and we're on the way.
Yeah. So before we get to the name of the minute, the trivia, did you read the trivia question that I wrote in here?
I just did, and I really like it because I couldn't think of things that I would want to pick. I think your choice is excellent, and I fully endorse it.
When Roman realizes what Brian is about to do, drive their car onto Carter's boat, what is the order in which Roman verbalizes the plan? And so Joe's been saying it a couple times already in this episode, but Roman says boat, car, boat. So I have
this
boat,
is amazing because I'm gonna fuck this up. And when I said it a million times, and then I looked
first.
at I'm gonna fuck this up.
So option 1, boat, car, boat. Option 2, boat, car. Option 3, car, boat. Option 4, car, boat.
I am 100% gonna pick the last answer, car, boat, because that's what plays
could
in
not
my
be
head.
More wrong.
It's absolutely the wrong answer, but I know that no matter what, that's probably the one that I'm going to pick when I take this quiz. I do have a suggestion for the title.
Okay.
Cars Don't Fly.
I can't wait to get to that minute in like 45 years.
Yeah. Does he say Cars Don't Fly, Brian?
They said the line a couple times in that movie. We can just say Cars Don't Fly. Because Jack says it, and then Dom, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Dom says it to Brian, and I would like to include the Brian unless Dom does not say Brian.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm asking.
Cars don't fly, quote. Cars can't fly, Dom. Cars can't fly.
Oh,
Brian says cars can't fly.
That's right, because Dom is driving. Yes.
Yeah.
Cars can't fly, Dom. I like that. Can we do that? Or do you want Cars Don't Fly? Yeah.
So from minute 96, Cars Can't Fly, Don, when Roman realizes what Brian's about to do, drive their car onto Carter's boat, what is the order in which Roman verbalizes the plan? The answer, of course, is boat, car, boat.
It's so hard. That's gonna fuck me good.
So it's very difficult. It's very specific. There's objectively a right answer. It's said
out loud. It's not anything that's like hidden in the background, nothing you had to pay attention. It's said. It's vocalized.
Yes.
It's a very fair question and a very difficult question. There's no contention there. I love it.
Anything else to say about this minute?
I'm with you now that you said it. I don't know how the fuck we're finishing this in 4 minutes. But
there's so much movie left.
It feels like there's a ton of movie left.
Cut to us in 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 9 weeks, but like nothing happened in this minute.
Yeah. Yeah, also that
we have 2 minutes left. Nothing happened. What are you doing?
And then it's going to be like, pockets ain't empty, and then like credits.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Boom, boom. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Joe, on the streets, news about the Fast and Furious. I have a handful of things. I have a question for you that I almost asked for your Facebook. Like, I'll just save this. But did you notice anything news-wise in the last 3 weeks?
I did, and I don't think you'll even have this one.
Ooh, what is your news?
I was watching the Today Show in the morning, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was doing a whole bunch of Make-A-Wishes with kids.
Oh, wait, was it? So you tweeted a thing, or Reaction to Rocket tweeted a thing at us, like, The Rock teased, like, stay tuned, big announcement tomorrow. Is that this?
I'm unsure. I'm unsure if it's that, but I know that he was on the Today Show. It was very cute. He was dealing with a bunch of Make-A-Wish kids that wanted to just meet him, and he was just having like a very cute session. There was a big piece on it on the Today Show, and I thought it was wholesome and sweet, and I was excited. And I was also questioning you and excited for this segment because I was hoping that there was a big announcement and that he was running promo for something like The Rock did all these Make-A-Wish visits, and then he's like, and I got a new show coming out.
I'm running for president.
Yeah, something like this, yeah.
Yeah, because today on December 5th said tomorrow, I'm sure they get this joke all the time, but Today tweets, tomorrow, Dwayne Johnson joins Today for a big surprise. Like, make up your mind. Dwayne Johnson joins Today for a big surprise. Tune in tomorrow morning only on Today.
Oh, so it was that. Okay.
And then he says, he quote tweets and says, a big surprise. Blessed day. Join us tomorrow morning. And then it's just, not just, but like one of the biggest Make-A-Wish days ever. My absolute honor.
Yes,
very special day and what life is all about. But I think Reaction Rocket was just like, and a lot of people probably like, announcement?
Yeah, is he running for president? Yeah.
Announcement tonight, Queen? Announcement tonight?
No, and it was just, he just made a lot of children very happy, and it was cute.
Do you know what his bio is on Twitter, on X?
Dwayne's?
It
Dewey's?
just says, yeah, Dwayne.
It says, eat cheats and beat meats. I don't know. That's my guess.
Simply just says,
The Rock.
Founder.
Founder?
Not of anything, just founder.
Of Terramana? Of
$7.
$7.
Mm-hmm.
But none of
America?
that. Not that. It just says founder.
Just founder.
Can you change your Twitter bio to just say founder? Can you
could,
add
but
founder at the end? Should we both add founder at the end?
Right now, I think mine's just a Paddington quote.
That's fine. And then period, founder.
If we're kind of polite, the world will be right. We can make the Too Fast one say founder.
What is the Too Fast one say
The
currently?
podcast where Soul Popped and Joey D watch Fast and Furious movies on repeat forever, grab a Corona and hop on the passenger seat.
Founder. Okay, please, yes. Please add it. Because that's incredible.
Speaking of, I guarantee you in 3 weeks we'll be like, what?
Yeah, what does this mean?
Speaking of Make-A-Wish, you did a thing.
What? Oh, yes. Yeah.
We remember this year on the right time. Like we've done it, but like I think it was last year or whatever, like we got the timing wrong.
Yes. You want me to talk about it now?
Mm-hmm, sure. Because it's top of mind.
Okay, we posted pictures of it, but we did our annual Turbos for Tots toy donation to Toys for Tots, and I got a bunch of cars. It was actually really fun. I bought one non-Fast and the Furious thing this year, but it feels like it was Fast and the Furious. Did you even notice?
Well, you told me.
Oh, okay, sorry. I got one remote control Lamborghini car that just felt like a Roman remote control car. Because it's a Lamborghini, but it wasn't like official Jada Fast and the Furious toy production. Got that. I donated one of the Toretto household diagram things, which I also bought, and it's awesome. I got myself one too. I couldn't pass this up. I have no other of the Fast and the Furious toys, but this one was too good. It also has like a little barrel grill Joey and a little picnic bench that you put in the back of the yard. You can open the garage door, park the Charger in the garage door. Very awesome. Then I got some like mini cars, normal size ones. Got a Toretto's Charger. I put the picture online. Go look at Twitter. It was a cool thing. I always like giving toys to kids. That's one of my favorite things, and it inspired me today. I'm probably gonna buy Rachel's cousin's babies, our nephews, some Fast and the Furious toys too, and keep the tradition going, even in fam.
I will also say that we use Patreon money, so this is also
yes.
To
It's from you guys. Yes. This is a community effort. Thank you guys, and hopefully you also might have donated some Fast and the Furious toys, or just some cars in general. Make some new Fast fans.
Yeah. Any other news you've seen? Because I have a handful of things.
No. That it was only Dwayne the Rock Johnson's the only. Like my brain is a goldfish. That's all I can remember.
So this is something that came 2 weeks ago. This we talked about when it happened, but they finally settled. Fast and Furious 9 UK production entity fined $1 million after stuntman suffered brain damage in set accident. Do you remember when they were making Fast 9, F9, like the stuntman got like severely injured on set?
I vaguely remember this, yes.
A guy named Joe Watts suffered a broken skull after falling 8 meters onto concrete and landing on his head, and he felt he was considered, quote, lucky to be alive, and a UK production has been fined £800,000, $1 million in, damages and
liability.
So,
like they
good.
Yeah, I know that won't make that poor guy whole, but hope it helps somehow because that's terrible. And at least he wasn't on set with Alec Baldwin.
Jesus, I was like moving tabs, and I'm just like, so I sometimes when you say things, I hear them late, and then sometimes I hear them only in the edit, and that time I caught it. Unrelated to Fast and Furious, but related to people we covered, Daniel Craig and Charlize Theron joined forces for, quote, two for the money at Apple with Fast 9 filmmaker Justin Lin to direct. So Charlize is going to be in a new Justin Lin movie. Oh, we did see this.
I saw this. Yes. This
Apple.
is very cool.
Patreon, people were excited. Also, speaking of Patreon things, I put a link in there. Twisted Metal renewed for season 2. So people
and we were all
bit.
Hype on Twisted Metal. You didn't watch it, right?
No, correct.
It's fun. It really is like a fun kind of brain mush kind of. It's fun though. I know I'm pitching it. You're not gonna watch it. Doesn't matter. But again, if you haven't seen it yet, watch it. I think it's a really good time. We've been craving a lot more. Literally, there's no other show that Rachel and I have been sitting there, and also some of my other friends that watched it, and we sit there and we're like, what we want more of right now? Fucking Twisted Metal. Honestly, it's that much fun.
Very cool. I would like to watch it. There's just so much that
it's not film. It's not art.
Well, I'm not even looking for film. I'm just there's just too much stuff.
I actually think you'd really like it. It's good. It's just it's kind of zany, but it knows its own personality. It's good. But yeah, I don't need to sell you on it. Go ahead.
Speaking of TV, I started watching the new, and I'll talk a little bit more about it later, but the new show Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, also on Apple, stars both Kurt Russell and Anna Sawai. So I'm through about half of the episodes that have been out yet.
My buddies loved it, and not Mike Manzi, who's the Godzilla guy.
They are sort of... They are very stingy with the monsters. There's not a ton of monsters in the episodes. It's more of just a show about just people. But what's very cool about it is that it takes place in a couple different timelines. Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt Russell, who is a Nepo baby actor, but also great. I love him. He was in Everybody Wants Some, which is one of my favorite movies. He was in a show that lasted 2 seasons called Lodge 49, which I love, love, love. He's also in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show as the new Captain America that really kind of.
Oh, he's the we have Captain America at Home. That's Kurt Russell's son.
Yes, his name is Wyatt Russell.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And he's so in Lodge 49, he plays basically a Lebowski kind of stoner burnout, but I love that show. He also plays the same kind of character in Everybody Wants Some. In this show, which is really cool, is that he and Kurt are playing the same character 30 or 40 years apart.
Fucking nailed the casting there,
which
guys.
Is super cool. And it takes place over a couple different timelines, as I was implying there. But Anna Sawai is in current day, Elle from F9.
Oh, very
and
cool.
She, at the end of the second episode, she and Kurt Russell meet up. So, I'm sure there was... I don't know that they ever shared the screen. I don't know. They might have. We just watched F9. I don't remember if they shared the screen. But, there's Kurt in Japan stuff, right? So, they probably might have been around. But, it's cool to have, an F9 connection in Monarch: Legacy of Monsters on Apple TV+.
I would really like to see Fast and the Furious fight Godzilla. I think that's the ultimate big bad, right? That would be a really fun if we're going to go to space, if we're going to I'm sick of fighting viruses and nuclear footballs. Can we just fight a fucking sea monster or something?
Let's do it.
I think that'd be the coolest.
Oh, here's a longer thing. So I was DMing with Walt on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, because I was reading his book and I was not fangirling out, but oh, this is super cool. Also throughout the entire, throughout Walt's entire book, he mentions Fast and Furious 10 times. So if you have not read, you are what you watch.
He does.
Go check it out. But
it's a good book and it looks beautiful too. It really, really does. You still have the digital copy? You didn't get a physical?
I did. I'm gonna whenever the physical goes on sale, if it's whatever.
I want to convince Walt to autograph my copy for me. I was too nervous to ask him at the time, but I think that I would.
You never met him in person, right? I met him.
No,
I met him once. I drank with him once.
Yeah. And congratulations, Walt, who just got married. Didn't he just post his wedding pictures the other day?
He did. Yes.
Awesome.
He
Congratulations.
He released
Walt.
a book and got married in the span of 8 days.
Beautiful. Excellent. Good job, Walt.
His husband was on the show, Michael DeManico.
Yes, he was.
Former guest. Did not love these movies, but,
Fair enough.
Nobody's perfect. He said, so I was talking to him about the book and about Fast and Furious, whatever. He published an interview on Sunday, a couple weeks ago, on Numlock News that has one of the very best Fast and Furious anecdotes he's ever heard. So he shared this link with me. So I'm going to read here. So it was with this guy, Jeff Yang, who wrote a new book called The Golden Screen, The Movies That Made Asian America.
Okay, cool. Okay? Very cool. Very interesting premise for a book, too. Very cool.
So Walt says, I'm going to read here. It's exciting that you pointed that out because when I read this, I hopped around to some of the film franchises and films I love the most, and you have an entry Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, and you write about how not only was it an important reset for what is now one of the most consequential franchises for Universal, but it was one where it even seems like they misunderstood some of the appeal of their characters to the point that they killed off Han and then eventually had to bring him back due to how popular and compelling he was. So Jeff goes, absolutely. Sung Kang's character was a fan favorite. Fortunately, in the franchise, no one's dead for very long, but yes, it goes deeper than that. So a little-known story here, but the Fast and Furious franchise began with the optioning of a story from Vice, which we know about, right?
We know about, yeah.
The story was written by Ken Lee, who is now an editorial director over at Reuters. At the time, he was my intern at A Magazine. So this guy who Walt's talking to is just like, the guy who wrote that thing that became a franchise? Like, I was his boss.
Yeah, so and we saw him in the first episode of Icons Unearthed. That was Ken, yeah.
Walt goes, oh my God. And so Jeff says, which was one of the early Asian American publications. He came to me saying, hey, I have a story I want to write. I don't know where to write it for. Should I write it for the magazine? I was like, no, this thing you should pitch to a bigger opportunity because it's a great story. I'll connect you with my editor at Vibe. I'd been writing for Vibe. My editor there, when he heard the story, said, we're going to give this cover space. Like, it's a huge thing.
Huge.
A story called Racer X.
Yeah.
It was basically about Asian American illegal street racers who were taking over highways in Brooklyn and running their own illicit, mostly import car races.
Very cool,
They ended up getting licensed by Universal to be essentially the IP around what they considered the very first Fast and Furious.
Yes.
Of course, the thing they did was eliminate almost all the Asian characters. I think Rick Yoon was the only Asian actor who was a character, and of course he's a villain, and they whitewashed all the characters, built a franchise around it, and not until they bring in Justin Lin and do Tokyo Drift that the Asian and Asian immigrant roots of this illicit street racing underground was finally acknowledged. Nobody talks about this history, but the Fast and Furious is actually our story. I mean, importing in car culture and underground street racing, car culture here on the West Coast and in New York was Asian American first and was taken away and turned into Fast and Furious by people who realized that if they'd simply just lighten the complexions of the characters involved, they might be able to make a mint off this.
Wow. That's a really interesting point. And true. 100% true, right? Like, tuner culture was Asian kids. That's just what it was.
So I said, wow, that's really a testament to how Hollywood only cares about white people, because almost every story about making that first movie seems like they screwed over everyone en route to a thing that no one expected to do well anyway. Like in Icons Unearthed, too, like it was the same kind of thing. It's just like, well, nobody's gonna see it, but like we might as well like fuck it all, just throw white people in there, right?
Yeah, they're like, what if we get a really handsome white dude?
And I was talking about how it adds more fuel to the recent fire against the franchise as multicultural, which we have been saying as a pro for so long. But then between this thing and also the book of essays we read, they pointed out, hey, since The Rock, literally every major actor they added is white. And we were like, oh, shit. And
Very
Walt
true.
says, yep, it's weird. This is me and him DMing. It's like once they got big, they're like, no, sorry, these aren't your toys anymore. And I was like, they pander the countries the movies release in, which Walt's book covers as well.
Yeah.
But the big new additions are all white. Statham, Charlize, Ryan Reynolds, Vanessa Kirby, John Cena, other than Momoa and all other than Idris, right?
Yes.
And
who both come in as villains.
Mm-hmm. I said the more movies they make, the more special the first few feel. And then he said British, South African, Canadian, English, and American. And I said all the whites. And then I put a picture of Tom Hanks from Elvis going, he's white. And Walt liked that. So, yeah. So thank you.
Interesting comment.
If you don't read Numlock News, there's the free one that you get a newsletter every weekday. And then there's the $5 a month one to support Walt. And you get the bonus, the long form interview on Sundays, which is very, very cool. So go check out. It's numlock.news is the URL. So check it out.
Yeah, always support Walt. Walt's a good guy and super smart. Way too smart to be talking to me ever. So,
well, we appreciate him.
Yeah, we do appreciate him for that reason.
So my only other thing on the streets, and this is not a thing, I don't know when else to ask this, so I'm going to ask this now. So,
Please.
Next lap, we will reveal the theme in the tune-up. It is the lap sponsored by Josh and Michael.
Oh yeah. Does nobody knows yet, right? Well, the patrons know.
Patrons know.
Okay, yeah.
So here's my question to you.
Yes, sir.
Normally in every lap, patrons all get a pick. I basically pick things I think we're both going to like that are going to have good conversations, and then you always get one pick. Should you and I both get Patreon bonus picks? Each of us gets one movie that's either on theme or can be whatever movie you want. Should you and I each get one?
Because we're not picking the theme, so we should get a bonus Patreon. I like that idea.
Cool. Because it's a little bit more work for us, but like I have a perfect movie. Like it's the same movie I bleeped out in the last episode. I'm going to pick.
Yeah, and I love that. And I already watched that movie, and I love it. I am so sold.
So you
yes.
don't have to give me your answer now unless you have an answer.
No, I don't now. But you got me with your pick. Ooh, I need to come up with something good.
Cool,
okay,
cool,
I like this. Oh, I know exactly what I'm going to pick, Joey.
Tell me.
Do you want to know?
Uh-huh. Ooh, okay, cool.
You know why? All the reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
Did you beep mine out too? You beeped mine. Yeah, you definitely beeped mine out too.
Yeah. So sponsor Joe 2.
Oh, yeah. There's no time we would ever be able to watch that movie ever, and it's like so. Oh God, yes. Okay, cool. And I can force others that like listen to this show, hopefully, to watch that movie because I don't think a lot of people. Okay, perfect. Wow, excellent. Good idea, bud.
So that's all the news I have on the streets. News about the Fast and Furious, even though it's also news about the show now too as well. But Joe, is Dwayne Johnson in Fast 11?
Yes.
Cool. Let us now talk about Icons Unearthed. But Joe, first, do we have a word from our sponsors?
A message from our sponsor. Today's sponsors of Icon Unearthed is brought to you by Caterpillar Excavators. No matter what type of work you do, excavation, trenching, or truck loading, Cat Excavators deliver top performance, unmatched versatility, and excellent fuel efficiency. Dig those holes.
Well, dig those holes and Icons Unearthed. So what's amazing to me about this show, there's a lot here that we've not minded because we've really gone behind the scenes. But like the first 20 minutes, I'm just like, whatever.
They
like,
made too fast. Yeah.
And then the back half is like banger after banger with like wild stories. I'm just like, this is insane.
There was a lot specific. I felt targeted a lot of times.
So this episode is called Shifting Gears. After the success of The Fast and the Furious, a sequel is imminent. Vin Diesel and director Rob Cohen are replaced by director John Singleton and rising star Tyrese Gibson.
Yes, and so it starts out kind of that these two guys wrote a spec script, and they were very snobby that they were authors, and that they wouldn't be writing a Fast and the Furious script film. And then their boss was like, you don't have any films made at all from any of your scripts. Maybe you should try to write a Fast and the Furious film. And they were like, nah. And then they went and saw the movie, the first one, and were like, hey, this is a pretty good movie. We should probably write a script about this movie.
My first note is that even the guys who wind up making these movies shit on these movies.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They were just like so no,
rude.
why would we ever do that? This is a stupid car chase movie, blah blah blah. And then they're like, motherfucker, this is pretty good.
They were also just like, so we thought we were going to have Dom. Vin didn't want to do it, so we got Tyrese. Basically nothing had to change. I'm like,
yes,
you can't... Like, what the... No, you shouldn't be like, okay, so instead of this character that you know everything about, we're adding a brand new character with a totally different backstory relation to Paul Walker's character.
And they're like, we kept 99% of the script. We changed pretty much nothing. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I really did like that. I also like that we get a quick shot of John Singleton in a pirate's hat in one of the pictures. Pirate's hats were really big at the time, so I don't put too much credence into that, but I will have to point out any time that I get represented. So thank you, John Singleton.
Yeah, they talk about how like the only changes they had to make were that he's a childhood friend. They moved it to Barstow.
Yeah, because they were like, we want demolition derbies in this, and they're like, well, we'll just put them in Barstow.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, honestly, pretty much they're right? Like that's I mean, once you think, you're like, he put him into jail, whatever. Okay, cool.
I also didn't realize, because I haven't seen Baby Boy, which we might cover at some point on this podcast, so I feel like we have to.
We probably should
I didn't
now,
realize
yeah.
that it was like for Tupac. Tupac dies. They're like, well, we need to replace Tupac. Who are we going to get? Tyrese. It's like, what?
And they only get Tyrese because John Singleton really liked him from the Coca-Cola commercials he was doing.
Have you ever seen these commercials? I have not.
I've never heard of these before in my life, but apparently, if anybody did see those Coca-Cola commercials and has thoughts on them, please let us know, because like I don't fucking remember these at all.
The clip they showed, so this must have been like early to mid 90s. The clip they show is Tyrese on a bus singing what sounds off key about how much he loves Coca-Cola.
And from that, Tyrese got his first record deal.
Uh-huh.
Because everybody apparently loved Tyrese as the Coca-Cola commercial singing guy. Insane. That's an insane story. Think of the world that Tyrese spawned an entire career.
So they love him. They're like, this guy is electric. We need him. They screen test him, and apparently his screen test is so monumental that it's playing at the Academy Museum.
For Baby Boy, not for Too Fast.
Right, for Baby Boy. Sorry, yes, but this is all before Too Fast.
Yes.
But still, like, Tyrese Gibson's audition screen test with him and his
Plays at the
co-star.
film, like the Academy of Film. The museum at the Academy of Film.
The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, like the Oscars Museum in Los Angeles, has his screen
Baby
test
Boy screen test. It's insane to
playing.
think about. Yeah. And they showed it.
And
It's
then,
insane.
because they're like, this is all why happened. This is what, this is why the casting director loved him. This is why Universal loved him. This is why John Singleton
Go ahead.
loved
Are you
him.
going to get to the point that I want to talk
And they
about?
cut to Roman. She's like, here's how it really happened. It's like, no, this isn't how it really happened. This is just you telling a story. Like, everybody else is like, this is how it happened. Roman's like, or Tyrese is just like, nah, it was different. It was different.
And he's like, you know what? And they're like, blah, 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 blah. They get Tyrese and John Singleton at the same time, pretty much, because they like asked John Singleton about it. And Tyrese comes in and he goes, I got John Singleton that job. What? And it's the most Tyrese thing. Like, he's like they show all the movies John Singleton had made up until that point. And Tyrese is like, yeah, I told them, like, you should probably get John Singleton to make this movie. And it's like, I don't think that's how that happened, Tyrese.
No.
At all. Like, I think
shot
you're
that shit out the
clearly,
sky, bow. It's like, no, you didn't. What? No.
you're just
what?
lying. Yeah, you're just fully lying in this thing. But it felt very Tyrese of him to announce that he's the reason that John Singleton got the job to direct a step down, terrible choice movie for him in his career trajectory. Tyrese would take credit for that. Yeah.
Yep. Well, the first thing that I wrote down that feels like targeted toward us is they're just like,
Go ahead. We're trying to cast. They're talking to the casting director, right?
Well, they're talking about like casting. There's I don't know if there might be one thing before what you're saying, because I have that written down too. But like, they're talking about how nobody came back from, like, it's basically a whole new cast for the second movie. The only person back is Paul Walker.
Yes.
And also Tom Barry is Bilkins. And they never explain why Bilkins is back. They never explain why Tom Barry comes back.
But Tom Barry is in this episode of Icons Unearthed
for like 5 minutes.
and fucking amped. He loves the Fast and the Furious. He loved being in the Fast and the Furious. He loved being on set in the Fast and the Furious. He wants to talk about it. He's so excited.
And I was just like, oh, maybe they'll explain why they're like, why this guy gets a transfer across country, a different job, a different organization.
I think the simple answer is they called everyone that was in the cast of Fast and the Furious.
And they're all like, we're good.
They're all like, we have new jobs now. And Tom Barry was like, I'll fucking come back.
So then they talk more about casting, and they went to Ja Rule, and as we talked about, Ja Rule like had crazy demands. They said no.
He said he's too big for another Fast and the Furious movie. He is beyond this. He has to Fire Festival decide.
And so they go to Ludacris, and the people thought he was too low key, but obviously he makes it in there. Like, they didn't think he was like bombastic enough, but they're like, Devin Aoki, everyone loves her. We're like, yeah, obviously.
They're like, we didn't pretty much test anybody else for the role. Like, as soon as we saw her, we were like, yep, her, done, bang.
And so they were doing like, I think just photos outside, right, of like just what the characters could look like by their cars, and like a school bus full of little kids drive by as she's by her car, and they like hoot and holler out the window. They're like, yeah, we found our Suki. Like, that's
it.
That's
yeah.
the girl.
Yeah, pretty much.
So then
go
there's
ahead.
two things back to back that I'm like,
back
holy
to back,
shit.
banger. Go ahead.
So they're like, so this casting director, like this woman who I'm sure is really good at her job,
She seems excellent. She casted for Baby Boy. She's the one who found Tyrese to replace. Yes, all these things. Okay.
She's like, they were looking for a villain, and I'm like, let's get Idris Elba. She's like, I saw the first episode of The Wire. I loved him. I wanted to get him in here.
So we bring him in.
He starts speaking in a British accent. We're like, oh,
Yuck.
hold on. And apparently no one could see past that, even though like people had seen The Wire. She had seen The Wire. She could hear him speak in an American accent. They're like, no, we're going to go Cole Hauser. And it's just like, well, eventually they get Idris Elba, right?
Yes.
And then...
That's a wild-ass story that Idris Elba was in the running to play Carter Verone in Too Fast and then becomes Brixton like a decade and a half later.
Two
It's
iconically
insane.
one-and-done characters.
Yeah. Insane, though. That's insane.
And then they're like, so Chad Lindbergh is narrating this and saying, well, clearly, he makes a joke about how, like, they at least they didn't fuck up like a second time, right? Like, it's whatever. And then they come back to this woman. She's like, I also wanted Channing Tatum in the movies. And we're like, what? And I think they wanted him as Jimmy. I think that's kind of
that's what they're alluding to. I thought so too. It wasn't very specific, but I think that they're alluding that Jimmy, he was going to be like the fourth person in the crew, And
they're like, we can't have this many white people, even though they wanted to put an Asian actor in there, which I get, and so they replace him with MC Jin, right? Like it's also MC Jin. In the episode we talk about with Brian in a couple of weeks, on the F9 episode, we talk about people with records. MC Jin probably has a record too, right?
Yeah, he does. So you're right. That's another Fast and Furious character that has an album.
Stay tuned for that episode. Although Too Fast is like 2 years before Coach Carter. Like this would have been like maybe episode 1 of Magic Mike's. Like this would have been like a different thing.
Insane. Yes.
They do a casting call for cars, and they're like, we'll get a handful of cars, and I think they say like 700 people show up with cars to like include in the movie.
That, and one of the other coolest things is the guy that was like in charge of building the cars, like the guy from the first episode is like, oh yeah, there was like a Ford dealership that like went out of business, so I just like bought that. And he's like, and I just like kept all those guys on staff and was like, can you just like tune and like build all of these, like paint prime, do all the wrenching on these cars? And they're like, yeah, we'll keep our jobs for like another couple months or whatever. And fucking genius. That's awesome. I love stories like that. That's very cool.
So then they get into like the actual production of the movie, and they're talking about how like when they were making Baby Boy, John Singleton was like, I think there's a common thing, like Greta Gerwig for Barbie had like movie church where they like every Sunday they would watch a movie together. And so Tyrese was like, he made us watch like 15 movies for Baby Boy. He made us watch nothing for Too Fast. Like it was clear like this guy did not give a shit. Just like, we're making a movie.
Tyrese pitches it as that, but I don't think it's that. I think that if you read deeper into what Tyrese is saying, John Singleton was like, I actually don't want you to be influenced by other movies in this. I just want you to know the characters and stay in character and become the characters that are here. Not like, I want you to channel these things. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yep.
That's what I was reading it as, but then, you put it through the Tyrese filter where he's the most important person in the world at all times, and then that's what happens. Yeah.
They talk about the rat bucket, and they apparently asked a military and army general, like, what's the worst torture you've ever heard? And he came up with this, and they're like, cool, we're doing it.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we're going to fucking send it. And I was like, insane. Okay, yep, with you. That was in my notes, too.
And then what's also funny is, like, it kind of feels this way if you think about it, but, like, all of the most iconic and memorable things about this movie are because they had no money, and they're just, like, they had to erase things. Like, the stare and drive was only because they had a lot of dialogue that didn't work, and so they cut it all, so they just stared at each other and didn't say anything, and that was better.
And Tyrese improv'd the, like, he did the stare and drive, didn't he? I taught him that, and that was, like, an improv line at the end. Excellent. I give him his flowers for that one. Good job.
They realized while making the movie that they had not enough racing in the movie, and so they're like, well, we need to add this big race, and Universal's like, fuck that, we're not paying for that. So they had to figure out in one night what to do, so they did the down and back race. Yeah. And so they're like, what can we do that's really this is a cheap and quick?
Cheap, quick, and like look cool, and that's what they came up with. Genius. I really like that.
Paul, the actor, really wanted to do the e-brake 180 at the beginning of the movie when he pulls up into the thing, like just like the e-brake slide into like the camera and he smiles, he nails that. People are like, oh my God, he did it.
And you see the crowd, and if you know that and you watch the crowd, they're actually like, holy shit, this guy just did the move. not like Brian's here, but the reaction is cool and it plays well into the movie. But continue.
But then after the race, as they're getting away, Paul, again, the actor Paul, fucks up and crashes into the parking meter, and they're just like,
which we see in the movie.
We'll just keep it.
Yeah, and Singleton's like, run it. Like, just run it up and we'll do it. And then they talk about how they had to fix the car and stuff like that. But right before that, Tyrese gives the best quote of the episode, and you totally skimmed over
What was it?
They're asking Tyrese about like his improv. He's like, I like working with John Singleton because he let me do improv. A lot of directors don't like that. They want just the lines. And he goes, I am the king of finding the joke and how to land it.
I didn't write that down, but I did love that line.
Tyrese, thank you again for saving this movie for us. I'm glad that you gave a little credit to John Singleton, but we know that this was built on your back.
Well, I think what's also funny in that same kind of like lauding ourselves, like we know that Vin compares these movies to film a lot, right? But they're like, we need something that evokes apocalypse now. Like we need something like when they're in there and like the tiger, what they call a lion, like jumps out of the jungle. What if we just had a car fly onto a boat? It's like, you can't compare this movie to Apocalypse Now, but like they did. They really did.
You did. You tried it. Yeah, it's kind of incredible watching the show. And just for like the weird takes like that, where your brain's like, are they talking about the same thing that we're talking about?
Mm-hmm. And the other thing we've talked about sort of is that like the clusterfuck of the like tractor trailer running over that car, and the guy like acts like it fucking up, and like he flipped his car by accident, like it wasn't meant to be, but like it just happy accidents.
The Corvette hitting and flipping after they drive over the car was a complete accident that they also left in the movie. Yep. And then the last thing is they kind of go over how they did the boat jump, like how which we just talked about in the minute. And it was really, really interesting and cool that like they had a lot of the stunt guy there and talking about like how he could set up the stunts and what he did. And they just like jumped a car off a ramp and it just landed in water. And then they had like a car on a wire that landed on the boat. And then like...
Well, it didn't even land on a boat. It landed on like...
Yes, yeah.
A white piece of like plastic or something that like kind of looked like a boat.
Yeah, and then they smashed... It's pretty crazy to think about how these stunts get made and like how they're like clever editing, camera angles, blah 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 blah. Because it looks seamless in the movie, right? Like I couldn't have if you would have said like how did they do this, I would have known that there was tricks to it, but I wouldn't have combined these tricks to make that, right? But I mean, also that's not something that we do. But in the same sense, it's magical, and they did a very good job.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen in these movies that are like that is in Fast 5, like the vault scene, and they talk about how there's like different cars, like there's cars pulling something heavy, but obviously not as heavy as the vault. There's cars that are pulling nothing. There's cars that are just like part of a car. Like there's all these different ways to like do different elements of a scene to get one portion of the stunt, and then using computers to mash them all together and make it look like it's all happening at the same time, which is it's insane. Yeah,
it is. It's nuts. But amazing to see. Cool.
Any other notes from this episode of Icons Unearthed?
No, I got all mine in, and I'm glad that we had very, very, very similar ones, because that means we were on the same wavelength.
It's also funny, like that we're the same thing. It's just like I think if you've seen these, like us recapping them, other than hearing our excitement, like it's just like, oh yeah, I know that already. But like, I was hesitant because I felt like we already know so much about the movies, but like we don't know a lot about behind the scenes. But like every time, like there's a long stretch of these episodes where it's like, not boring, but just like we know it. And like this one felt like, especially because after the first one, just like there's so much backstory we didn't really know, and then here just like, well, no one knew the first was going to be a hit, and then there's a second movie, is it going to be a hit? Nobody came back. We're like, yeah, we know this, and then all of a sudden, just like Idris, Channing,
and you're like, no, that's the shit we want to know. Tell me more of that.
Yeah.
Like
I still don't know that I want it to be an hour long, but like if it weren't an hour long, I think most of what we would have is the stuff we maybe already knew, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be like that first half of the episodes that you're like, okay, here's Craig Lieberman for 6 minutes. Cool.
So there's 6 episodes of the show. We'll be back with the 3rd episode on the next Fast Lane. We're basically going to finish this show as we finish Too Fast. So
that's pretty cool. I like that. It worked out well. I'm glad that it was actually really nice to watch this episode today and do the minute.
Yep.
I was like, wow, that's really, really appropriate, and it felt nice.
Yeah, Joe, I want to say this is a really good idea you had to watch Icons Unearthed. I'm really glad you had this idea.
I am so glad that I bothered you for so long and wouldn't stop asking you to cover this show.
This is all you, so congratulations. Good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We have a Patreon page, toofast2forever.com. Shout out to Cassie Wilson. Oh, I didn't shout you guys out in the next episode. I'm sorry. Here's a double shout out. Cassie Wilson, Nick Burris, Alex Ellen, and Justin Kleiman, Brian Rodriguez of High School Slumber Party, Wes Hampton, Jerry Robinson, Dan the Duke, Hayden, Renato DiDonato, Michael McGann, Lane Middleton, Lindsay Lewandowski, Nate Milton of the Kings of Sport, Jason Rainey, Tom Price, Mike Gallier, Josh Buckley of Whole Lotta Wolves, Michael Moser, Christian Larson, Tara New One, Aaron Willows, and Natalie Absolute, Randy Carter, Josh Goularm, and Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. If you want access to swag and merchandise like t-shirts, stickers, and more, early access to episodes, bonus episodes, the Fast and Furious Minute document, the Minute Quiz, your choice of Pit Stop movies and themes, voting for all Pit Stop fan-selected movies, which we have not done in a while, and our undying love and affection, toofast2forever.com. Even $1 a month gets you in the door. Joe, we have 2 new patrons this month. $1 member, meet Prawit Tankumwang. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but Prawit, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, bud. Awesome.
Joining
right
a member
in.
of the
Say
family.
Hi.
And then also I mentioned his name earlier. I mentioned his name last episode, but Josh Goularm from our Fate of the Furious episode, the Full Throttle franchise. Josh joined at the $5 level. So
Thank you,
your stickers are in the mail to you now. So enjoy.
Oh, I want to say thank you to Natalie for the very, very, very awesome Fast and the Furious Christmas card that I think she sent you one as well, right?
She did. She handmade that. It was beautiful.
They were fucking awesome. I will keep that forever and greatly cherish it. I really appreciate all the things that you guys send and do for us. So thank you. Seriously, honestly.
We've made 3 sales on TeePublic because it's Christmas season. What people say, what evokes the holiday spirit other than a t-shirt of George Pickens NFL
watching.
Youngboy Fast 5? That was one sale. We also got a George Pickens Youngboy Fast 5 t-shirt. That's another sale. And we got a t-shirt of Brian Supra. So someone actually bought like actual merch of ours. And then 2 people were just like, I want the Steelers thing that doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay.
It's the weirdest thing ever. But also it's something that would like really, like, you know how my brain works. If I saw something that weird, I would be like, I gotta get one of, like, this is so, who made this? What is the story behind this?
What Batman movie was that from? Where she's like, I got to get me one of these.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, it's Independence Day.
Okay. Yes, that makes more sense. I was like, Batman?
Where after they, like, fly the thing out for the first time.
Yeah. Now I know.
I have got to get me one of these!
How did you imagine Will Smith in Batman?
I thought it was someone seeing the Batmobile. Like, it's a futuristic vehicle.
Fair enough. That makes sense. Good explanation.
I was also DMing with our friend Mark Hoffmeyer in the last couple of weeks.
How's
and he
Mark?
sent me... Oh, he sent me a very specific observation, which we've talked about before. He's like, I love the coffee order in the first movie. The decaf, when they're in the police house.
What is it? What is the coffee order?
Well, I don't know, but like the whipped cream thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like when they have like the whipped cream in the... Are you quizzing me right now for like the quiz?
No, this is general asking. What are you talking about?
Oh, when they're in the police house.
Oh, yeah, like it's like mochachinos, no
with
whipper.
with a lot of whipped cream on top. Yeah.
Yes. Now I do remember. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Bilkins, Paul, yes. What's his name? Markham.
Markham, and then there's Tanner says, decaf or whatever. Like he asked, and then in the next scene, they're drinking these like very overly frapped, like crazy coffee drinks, right?
Yeah, that they apparently made in the kitchen of that house.
Yes, in the police house.
Yes, exactly.
So Mark messaged me about this, and I'm like, have you ever taken our quiz? And so he took the quiz. He got about half of them right, which is still very impressive.
Insane.
It's insanely difficult. But again, that is a perk only of patrons and of Mark, that if you go to toofast2forever.com, the pinned post on there includes links to both the quizzes, both the minute documents, so you have access to those things at toofast2forever.com. If you've not taken the quiz, it's very fun to take the quiz, so do that.
And if you're a new patron, just go look at how insane the fucking minute documents are. Just look at how insane they are. Just for like 1 minute, scroll and be like, God damn.
We also have an email address if you don't want to support us, if you're not able to financially support us, that's also fine. You can just email in family@cageclub.me. And Joe, we have 3 emails to get through today.
I heard 2 people in the Discord tell me they were writing emails today, so I know the 2 came in today.
So first up from Randy Carter, subject line, a follow-up. He says, guys, just want to send a quick email and give you my rankings and bonus episode choice as you requested. But first,
Thank you, Randy.
One follow-up to my last email concerning the 1989 date in Fast X, and then I'll let it rest as I realize I'm not going to change your minds.
Okay.
He says, the only canon thing you have to ignore for 1989 to work is the comment from Brian that Vince was, quote, approximately 24 years old. Disregard that and everything else falls into place. His use of the word approximately indicates he wasn't told Vince's age at some point in time. We're just guessing. He's a bad guesser. Randy?
I applaud you sticking with it, bud.
Yeah, fight.
I'm sure that there's like, of the 6 people in the world that might care about this, including us and Wes, and now you, I'm sure that at least one of them agrees with your reasoning.
Yeah, just, I love anybody who cares this much about
your family, 100%. Whether or not we agree with you having a thought and logic outing.
Which, to be very clear, we do not agree.
But having this deep level of thought into something means you're our kind of people anyways. It's perfect.
He says, anyway, onward and upward, here are my rankings. So from bottom up, number 11, Hobbs and Shaw. It's simply not a Fast and Furious film.
Fair take.
Number 10, Fate of the Furious, Dom versus the Family is an interesting idea, poorly executed.
Fair.
Number 9, Fast and Furious, too grim for the Fast, and the CGI caves are pretty bad. If you ever want to laugh, listen to the commentary track from Justin Lin, because during this entire sequence, he's talking about how important it is to do everything practical. If you don't know any better and just listen to him, you think there was no CGI there at all. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just like, kind of
we
sucks.
probably should have done this fucking practical.
Number 8, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Ooh,
no
low.
Dom, but Roman nearly saves this film.
Well, according to Tyrese, he did save that film, so...
Number 7, F9, nothing particularly wrong with it, but nothing particularly right either. So just sort of down the middle.
Okay.
Number 6, Tokyo Drift, Han. It's all about Han, as it should be. Number 5, The Fast and the Furious, respect for the OG.
Okay.
Number 4, Fast 10, Momoa, nuff said.
Momoa's great,
Number 3, Furious 7, I know I'm being emotionally manipulated, and I'm here for it.
Totally fair.
Number 2, Furious 6, a near perfect film. And number 1, Fast 5, he simply says the correct choice.
Yes. Amen. Good choice. Good choices, Randy. I like your list. Good list.
My favorite characters, by the way, are Mia and Tej. I really root... Mia, shout out Mia representation. I really root for the characters that I feel have a tremendous amount of potential, but are underutilized. Speaking of Tej, it's often said he and Ramsey basically have the same skill set, both hackers, and while there's some truth to that, a deeper examination reveals there's difference. As you guys have pointed out at least once, Ramsey's software person. If you need to hack into someone's bank account or security system, she's the one you call. Tej is more of the hardware guy, or as Roman says...
engineering.
Circuits.
Circuits, yeah.
We need to break into a safe, build an RC car that'll spy for you, or design a GPS system that will allow you to drive a car out of the back of a plane and land at a precise location. Tej is your man. Now, this doesn't always ring true, as there are a lot of overlaps, but I like to think this is what helps distinguish the two.
I think so, too. Yeah, Tej definitely is more of the toy guy. I don't see Ramsey building toy things. And I use the term toy very loosely because he does make an RC car, but like, the harpoon gun, all that kind of shit. I was thinking about it today when he says like numbers when we were watching F9. He's more implying that he's engineering to me than... Because it's circuits and numbers are the two things he's like, I'm the circuits guy, I'm the numbers guy, which would imply engineering, and Ramsey is the computer / hacker person.
Yep.
I agree with you, Randy.
Finally, for the Patreon bonus episode pick, I'm assuming there's no theme required for this. No, there was a theme. I mean, at one point we did, but now you can just do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want, bud.
The only choice I could possibly give is the amazing Sean Connery classic Zardoz. If you haven't seen it, you're in for a wild ride.
I have not seen it.
I have. I own it. Yeah, hold on.
Is it good? Oh, Joey's going to the wall of DVDs. He absolutely does have a copy. There it is. Ooh, a John Borman film.
Zardoz is a movie that Christian Larson, also fellow patron, loves. I think I heard about it from
I've never seen it. I've never seen it before, but I do love Sean Connery, so
we will do Zardoz this lap. So between now and February sometime, we will do Zardoz. So excellent. I think it'll be last because you were the last to get it in, but if there's another patron joins, we'll do another one. Until next time, Randy.
Thank you, Randy, for writing in, but thank you for being a patron.
But that was email number 1, so thank you, Randy, so much for writing that in. Thank you. Our next email is from Michael Moser, who I'm assuming is one of the 2 people in the Patreon or the Discord.
He is. Oh, and I do know a tidbit about this, and I'm gonna loop you in. On Whole Lot of Wolves, Josh Buckley and Paul's podcast, they do a segment every week called No Stupid Questions, where you can write in and ask them a question. It's usually about the town or the team or no stupid questions.
Yep.
So anything you want to ask, you can ask. And
cool.
He said he would like to write in a No Stupid Questions. He tried to tell me what it was. I said, absolutely not. I'm going in blind. We will read this together on air.
He says, long time no chat. Hey guys, long time no email. I always forget to email in and say my statements or questions, and I just ask them in the Discord, which is fine. Do that.
Absolutely fine. You know how to find us.
That's why it's there. Thanks to Joe, too, and my other favorite podcast, Whole Lot of Wolves, I have a no stupid question. If you could put a Motown sing-along in every FNF movie, which one would you put in and who would be singing it, like in Crimson Tide? So let's not do every movie, but just do what one song and what movie and who would be singing it. I mean, it has to be...
I know what I want, but it's not a Motown song. Okay?
What song do you want?
I want Sean and Han to sing Total Eclipse of the Heart. Both parts.
Ooh,
Meatloaf.
That would be so painful.
You think so?
To hear... Total Eclipse of the Heart is not Meatloaf. That's Bonnie Tyler.
It is. And Meatloaf is the male voice in Total Eclipse of the Heart. Yes, I am 100% sure.
Huh. Wait, hold on.
Yes, I know I'm right.
I didn't know, but it's a Bonnie Tyler song.
It's 100% a Bonnie Tyler song, but Meatloaf is the...
Hold on. I'm genius. I'm trying to think of when in the song there's the male voice.
The whole song. It's a duet.
Are you sure you're thinking about the right song?
Total Eclipse of the Heart. Bonnie Tyler and Meatloaf. The whole song.
John Steinman, I mean, he was written by Jim Steinman, who wrote Bat Out of Hell.
Oh, I want that. Okay, but for an actual... Okay.
No, he wrote it for Meatloaf. Meatloaf said he didn't want to sing it, and they gave it to Bonnie Tyler. Meatloaf's not in that song.
What the fuck song am I thinking about then?
I have no idea. Bonnie Tyler reveals Meatloaf was really pissed off. This happened a month or 2 ago that she revealed this. So you might have just misread something, but no, there's no.
No. The fucking. Oh God, you're gonna make me do this.
I do anything for love?
I would do anything for love. Fuck me. Yes. That's exactly what I meant. And I kept saying the wrong
Lorraine Crosby is the female vocalist on that. I was like, where is there a male voice in Total Eclipse of the Heart?
Wait.
It's wild to me that there was something just came out 2 months ago where she's giving quotes about it.
Wait, let me
I Do Anything for Love
for
is
second.
Also written by Jim Steinman, recorded by Meatloaf, featuring Lorraine Crosby.
No, turn around, bright eyes. Every now and then I fall. Turn around. Okay,
that's
so
her.
That's not
that's
Meatloaf.
Bonnie Tyler.
No, that's a male voice because this guy's singing. I think Meatloaf is in this music video.
Rory Dodd is the
guy
voice. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Canadian rock vocalist who performed many songs written by Jim Steinman. It's all the same thing, but Meatloaf's not in it.
Sorry.
He was also the backing vocals on a lot of Meatloaf songs, though. So it's it's all not incestuous in a bad way, but it's all crossover.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay. Sorry. Start again.
No, starting again. I'm leaving all that in.
Fine. Whatever you want.
So what Motown song, now that this is not a Motown song, what Motown song
It wasn't a
do you
Motown
want
song to
movie?
begin with. I just want... Okay, first of all, fucking love Total Eclipse of the Heart. Put that in. Whatever. Motown song, though. I think that I would like to have an all-female version of I'll Be There. We definitely need some Letty. Ramsey would get into it, or and one of them doesn't know the song, and the 3 other ones start singing in harmony. You know what I mean? Maybe Ramsey, because she was British, so she doesn't know the song, and they're like, "What? This is a banger, dude."
I was thinking about doing Ain't No Mountain, just do the thing that solves racial tension and put it in too fast and just, Roman and Brian get along now. You know what I mean? Like everything's fine. But what I want to do instead is this is, you could throw this in any number of movies, but I think I'll take your Sean Boswell idea for Tokyo Drift and have him sing My Girl to Neela.
Yeah. The accent would really fuck it up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you wanted him in Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Just to sing the harmony while Han does the whole song. Like, just like the, turn around.
No,
you could give him turnarounds, but you can't give him, a role.
He thinks he's being romantic and swarthy, and it's just like, dude, this is not working.
Yeah.
Plus, he's kind of like sunshiny. You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of quarterback on the Titans team anyway.
Why don't we get fucking Tool Time to sing it? To what's her name, and then Sean Boswell steals her anyways. He races for her prom date.
Look, I will say no stupid questions, but think
I was stupid.
We found a stupid answer.
Yeah, we found it. We definitely found a stupid answer to this question.
But thank you, Michael, for writing in.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, brother.
We also got an email from Jason Rainey, subject line sausage parties and speculation.
Okay.
I have no idea what this could possibly be about, but there's art attached.
Okay.
Hey, yo, Joey and Joe. First off, I wanted to send you a gift. On the last Life in the Fast Lane episode, you boys seemed disappointed that no one sent you pictures of Michael Fassbender's wiener in response to the shame episode. Indeed, it would be a shame to leave you two unsatisfied when this podcast gives us fans so much enjoyment. So attach this email are some primo Fassbender wieners. May they warm your hearts as much as you warm our eardrums. So I'm going to send these without context. I've not looked at them yet. I just downloaded them. I'm going to send them to the Facebook thread with you and Brian.
Please. Oh, my God.
Of Fassbender naked, holding 3 wieners in each hand, just says, no shame. Amazing. There's one of him in... I don't know what movie this is. It might be...
I know. I recognize it, but I can't recognize it.
It might be the dinner scene from Shame. I don't know. But there's just an insert shot, like it's like a news broadcast of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. And there's just a subtitle that says perfection. And then there's one from The Snowman where Michael Fassbender is pulling his eyes like he's agog at a snowman that has been impaled by about a dozen wieners and then written in what I can only imagine. It's all in black and white, but I can only imagine as mustard. Mr. Police, I gave you all the clues. Wonderful. I love
when these are fucking incredible. I know.
Ability and uses his powers for evil.
There's so many ideas that much like Brian, but he has more talent than I do. There's so many ideas that I have to Rachel that was like, if I had 7 hours to make
of commercial-free football?
Of commercial-free football. 7 hours of time that I could dedicate without completely drifting every 3 minutes. I would probably make a video that's a minute long about this one dumb thing that I thought of. And I don't. But that's actually always part of my lottery dreams. I'm if I if I won the lottery, a lot of time I would spend just commissioning people to make cartoons and pictures that are just a dumb idea that I had that I want to see enacted. Jason, thank you for scratching that itch for me. These were fucking incredible.
Thank you.
We have to share them somewhere. We have to put them in the Discord, I guess.
And
when the episode comes out,
there's a lot more to the email. Yeah,
okay,
when the episode comes out, I'll put this up there. I also want to send a response of sorts to Randy's letter from that episode. Like you guys, I got a kick out of his idea for an in-depth chronological cut. One thing he mentioned was leaving out Hobbs and Shaw because its place in the series timeline seemed uncertain. That reminded me of a germ of a theory that came to me recently.
Oh, I love theories. Go ahead.
One of the big mysteries is who Etion's director is. So far, no solid leads to their identity exist, or do they? In the film, we only see the director speak through computer screens, either at Etion headquarters or hacked devices. No big deal. It's a common trope in action movies, right? An easy way to hide the villain's identity. But we've seen another character talk anonymously through computer screens in the series, Dante Reyes. He does this twice, once to Dom in the Rio police station, but more importantly to Hobbs in the post-credits scene. This could be a subtle visual clue that Dante is involved with Etion, whether as director or some other association. The director mentions he and Hobbs have a past, which definitely fits Dante since Hobbs killed his father. Also, being associated with Etienne would give him resources to come after Dom and the family. If this turns out to be true, this could potentially put Hobbs and Shaw somewhere between Fate and Fast 10. What? Ooh, he might get to this. We've also been talking about Hobbs and Shaw 2. What if Hobbs is Hobbs and Shaw 2?
What do you mean?
Remember when Hobbs and Shaw came out, they're like, Hobbs and Shaw 2, greenlit, and we haven't gotten Hobbs and Shaw 2. What if this other movie that The Rock is teasing, that's like between Fast 10 and Fast 11, is
Bridge
also
movie.
Hobbs and Shaw 2?
That's what I always thought that it was.
I mean, but like, what if it's like, so you always thought it was like the one movie and the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same shit. Like, what they didn't make like just a Hobbs movie to make a Hobbs and Shaw 2 movie to then be after
knows,
the
man.
fucking. It
Nothing
was
about
always
these
the
makes sense.
timeline. But the timeline was always going to be. We said it when Hobbs and Shaw came out. It was going to be Hobbs and Shaw, Fast and Furious. Hobbs and Shaw, Fast. Like that's what
Yeah.
it was gonna. We were gonna get the Marvel release. That's like.
But
'cause
we
it takes
got
them
Hobbs
2
and Shaw,
years.
then Fast and Furious, then Fast and Furious.
Well, because COVID and fucking
Yeah.
all the writers, all this shit. So yes.
Maybe there are clues in that movie that would help pinpoint its position within the chronology, but I figure this is a start. I'll also admit I'm not 100% on this theory. It's been a while since I watched the movie, so I may be forgetting details that would easily disprove it. I don't think so.
I don't
also,
think so,
the
bud.
filmmakers seem dead set on forgetting anything about Hobbs and Shaw in relation to the main movies. If they were planning on integrating it, it probably would have been a lot smoother to do it before now. Anyway, looking forward to hearing what y'all think, and keeping... He doesn't say y'all, I y'alled it, so sorry for making Southern there, Jason. Not sorry. You're welcome. But keeping my fingers crossed that somebody puts this epic cut together someday. By the way, I looked up a fan edits online. The only Fast and Furious one I saw was someone who had chopped them into half-hour TV show-sized bites.
Haley told us about this a long, long time ago, remember?
Oh, yeah. You could buy, like, it was like, I think 7 movies was like 21 parts or something you could buy on Amazon or something. It was weird.
It was something really weird, and like maybe only in Australia at some point. It was something really fucking strange, yes.
An okay concept, but not as cool as Randy's proposed reordering Ejecto Cito Cuz's Jason. Well, thank you, Jason, for writing in and for the art and for the theory. I love the compounding
So
theories.
the theory I like. I don't think you have any logical flaws that I can see in it. The only thing that I don't like is that like Dante doesn't feel like he's running Etienne because he doesn't have that kind of power. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have like expansive, because he definitely steals money. They steal money from somewhere. He steals their money to fund it, right?
Who? Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean,
It doesn't mean he needs their money, but he definitely steals their money. He definitely steals Cypher's henchmen. So I'm just like, I think that if he was the director of Etienne, he would have more resources at his disposal immediately.
Yeah.
Is my only thoughts on why it doesn't and also he's too fun to be a director of something. You know what I mean? Like he can't be the boss. Dante is not the boss. He's the boss of himself, but like he's not like running an organization, just personality character wise. So those are my only 2 qualms, but like that doesn't disprove anything that you said.
We'll find out, or we won't. Either way,
They don't care.
they don't care. I like this. It's more fun to speculate anyway.
It's way more fun to speculate. What's a vehicle?
Guess is as good as mine. That's all the emails. If you want to email in for the next Fastlane, family@cageclub.me. It's always fun to read the emails on the show. Family.
It definitely is
at
a lot of
Cageclub.
fun. Thank you
Or
guys
join
for
the
the
Discord,
emails.
just chatting there.
Yes. If
If you want a Discord
I will
link,
respond.
email in or DM us or something.
Because
Or
it dies sometimes, yeah.
you can only have it set for 30 days, which it's understandable. So just, message us and we'll get you a link. Love to have you on the Discord. Not just for patrons, for anybody. If you want to get in there, just email us or whatever. Family@cageclub.me. Joe, the final thing to do. Oh, we also have a store, cageclub.me/shop. If you want to buy
If you want a George Pickens
George
t-shirt.
Pickens shirt or something real, whatever. Who knows? But Joe, the final thing to do before we say goodnight is extracurricular activities. What have you been up to since the day before Thanksgiving?
Rachel and I have been rewatching Through the Wire. Actually, it's been a while since I watched it. We've been doing like a lot of chores, and we kind of like put it on while we're doing them. And we've been like stuck doing that for a while. So we've been watching Through the Wire. We're like into halfway through season 3 at this point because we just like play it as a long form movie. Rachel discovered that she had never finished season 2. Which Yeah, she just had watched parts of it, and I think she like had kind of given up, and I just like pushed us through by skipping straight to season 3. So she was very fascinated by the end of season 2.
I was out with Margaret and her friend a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about something else entirely, and a bartender came over. They were just like, "You talking about The Wire?" We're like, "No, but we could." And we just talked about The Wire. We're like, "What did you hear that you thought we were talking about The Wire?"
Did somebody say shit?
No, I did after we started talking about The Wire, but we didn't before. But I was just like, what did you think you heard? Other than this woman, which is like, I really want to talk about The Wire, and I'm going to pretend like these people definitely have seen The Wire.
Cool. Yeah, we can talk about The Wire. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's been long enough that like I was due for a rewatch anyways, and it's
I've only seen it once.
Enjoyable. Oh, it's fun. So watch The Wire. In Trash TV, we've been watching the latest season of 90 Day Fiancé, which is incredible because there's a very sexually aggressive trans woman on the show who just endlessly wants sex from her fiancé.
Okay.
That's all she wants, and it is like insanely aggressive. And then there's also a what is it? Panama. The guy that I sent you a picture of the other night, his fiance, is very concerned with. Yeah, they're all just like super horny in this season, and like not very redeeming in any kind of qualities. They're all making very terrible decisions. It's awesome. I'm back in this season of 90 Day. I fucking love it.
Sweet.
What else? Other than that, Hard Knocks. Watched Hard Knocks, which I think is really fun. And Mike McDaniel is becoming way more endearing to me. I thought that, yeah, he's great. And he's like really fucking smart. Yaley. He like, I wasn't really sold on him. I thought he was kind of like.
Well, he's strange. He doesn't look like he belongs in football.
Not that. It was just that like, I thought that he was like playing a character because he wasn't funny. You know what I mean? Like, I thought he was being weird to be weird.
Oh, like he was feeling like his personality was, I'm going to try to be weird because I don't have a personality otherwise.
Kind of.
Okay.
And now I'm just like, oh no, you're just so smart that your brain is like just in a weird place all the time and you're hysterical. So I find him really funny, and Hard Knocks has been great. As you know, like we said before, Rachel loves Hard Knocks. So
does she even love this Hard Knocks? Because this is like a different, like it's
she
not
really likes it.
This is more football than reality.
Yeah, but she likes, you know, you get to see a lot of their like interactions in home life and like them stuffs. So she really
like the guy opening up Max and the login is Hugh Wang. And he's just like, that's not mine. Did you remember? You remember that? Did you see that?
Yeah, it was it was Sunshine, whatever the guy with the long Van Ginkle, Gink. Yeah, that's who it was. Yes, that was pretty funny. But he like clearly was busted. That was definitely his account that he named Hugh.
Or
Wang.
if it wasn't his account, he's also like on HBO saying, "Hey, I'm stealing HBO."
Yeah, I'm borrowing my sister's HBO Max, and
my sister just named it Hugh Wang. Yeah, whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, whatever. That's fun. What else have we been watching? Oh, we watched. We were not caught up yet, but we still do really enjoy The Curse.
I've only seen the first episode. I'm going to. I'm gonna watch more, but I've only seen the first.
We watched the first 2, and I think we're like halfway through 3. But we always like are like we should watch this, and we're like pretty drunk.
My thing is that like it's so uncomfortable to watch.
Go ahead, say this. This is what my coworker says. My coworker says it's like really hard. You can't watch it in like big batches because it's so uncomfortable.
Like I know that I'm gonna enjoy it and I want to see it. I want to be able to talk about it, but I'm just like, I don't want to watch this, but I'm going to, and I know that I'm going to enjoy it.
It's hysterical, but every situation is like, oh my god, this is so. He says it. He said he's gotten. He said he thinks episode 3 is the best episode because we haven't gotten there yet, and he also said like he's gotten to a point now where he's become so desensitized to the cringe.
Okay,
that he's like, I could watch it in giant batches, but he's like, yeah, like when you first get into it, if you're not in the right like mindset to be like, this is gonna be the weirdest shit I've ever seen. There was that. What else? I haven't been really doing much other than that. Hanging out. Yeah, that's it. I haven't done anything super exciting or fascinating or fun. So that's my things. Rachel's birthday's this weekend.
So is mine.
Yes. Yours is coming up too. I didn't forget. But in terms of ones I need to remember most.
True.
Rachel's birthday is this weekend.
Although I won't say what it was, but Joe gave me a very, very big compliment in terms of like people he doesn't hate today. Which
you can say what it was.
Because we were talking about like I'm having some friends over for my birthday. I'm trying to see if Joe wants to come down with Rachel, and it's like it basically like our birthdays are almost the same, and so like they have plans, and I'm like, look, just keep Rachel happy. I don't care. And he's just like, look, the list of people that I want to keep happy is Rachel, big gap, my mom, and my boss, big gap, you, end of list. I was like, look, I made the cut.
Yeah, that is the greatest compliment I could give Joey, and the fucking truth. 100%. I love nothing more in this life than doing whatever I want and not being bothered. So if you So if you control anything that I do and bother me, you're a special person.
There we go.
And you do both. Ooh. So
but yeah, so it is December.
You knew we were getting there. Come on, I was walking you right to it.
No, I know. Which, you know, it just proves all the more why the compliment rings so true, means so much. So, because it's December, it's year end, cram as much media into the month as I possibly can. So I've been watching TV. Like there's other like I want to watch The Curse, but I've been watching Hard Knocks. I've been watching Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, which I like. I don't love, but I like. I think it's worth watching. I think it looks really good. It's cool. It's well made. I wish there were more monsters, but maybe,
what channel is it on?
It's on Apple.
It's on Apple. Oh, okay, that's cool. I have Apple. Also sorry. Now that you reminded me, we were also caught up on Lego Masters, which is really fun this season too. They've gotten a lot better. Ink Master as well, which has gotten a lot better this season. Like, they're fucking fantastic. There's this kid that does these tattoo designs that are really fucking cool. I should send you a couple of them. Like, he does like a hodgepodge of different designs, so it'll be like a realistic photo and then he just draws like graffiti over it and like all kinds of, it's like really strange, but they look awesome. And we were caught up on The Amazing Race, too. That's what we've been watching. Sorry.
I will also say, I have not watched it yet, but this week, now, as we record, and now as you listen, for sure it's going to all be out, but there is a 4-hour, 4-part MasterChef Junior Home for the holidays. And I always, like, you know, the one reality that I watch is MasterChef and MasterChef Junior, and so
that's very cute.
It's like a 4-part, I guess, holiday. I don't know if it's new kids. I don't know if it's like
thank you for
kids.
telling me that, because we're gonna go visit Rachel's parents for like Christmas time, and that'll be a great thing to put on as like a family watch along type situation. I'm
going to get to that at some point. I've also been watching the new season of Fargo, which is great. Like, I love Fargo. Cool. Like, every season I've at least liked. Some of them are better than others. This one is really, really good. John Hamm's in there kind of as like a MAGA cowboy sheriff. Juno Temple is the star. Jennifer Jason Leigh is in there. Lamorne Morris from New Girl's in there. Joe Keery from Stranger Things is in there. Like, it's really, really good.
Which one is Joe Keery? Because I know the name. He played
Joe Keery's Dusty's older friend. Like, he's the older dude, the older boy.
It would Kit. No, not Kit.
Like, he's Maya.
Yeah,
Hawke's
I know.
friend.
I know. Yes. I know. I forget his character name. Fuck.
Yeah,
but okay.
He's the one who was dating what's her face.
Yeah.
He's great, and he plays like I don't know if he's John Hamm's kid in the show or just like one of his like deputies or whatever. But like he's in that world, and like he's really, really good. So that's on FX, on Hulu, and Hulu's now merging into Disney Plus. So like if you have both, it's also maybe into it's going to be one app.
Okay, cool.
Like you probably actually have a Hulu hub in your Disney Plus app. So check that out.
Okay, cool.
But it's really good. They're on Tuesday, so the new episode is out today as we record. So I have not yet seen it. A lot of good stuff. I've also been watching a ton of movies, especially movies in theaters. So the new basically every single movie I've seen in theaters I've loved. But I saw a Dream Scenario, the new Nicolas Cage movie, which is great. I saw Godzilla -1, which is a new Japanese language Godzilla movie, which rules. Bob and I saw Eileen, which is a movie based on a book that we read for the podcast, but based an author who wrote a handful of books that we both love, Otessa Moshfegh. She wrote this book, Eileen, which became a movie. That movie is great. This was in theaters, but I watched it on Netflix. It's also now on Netflix. May December, which is the new Todd Haynes movie with Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman, is awesome. The Boy and the Heron, the new Miyazaki movie, is great. And
we've heard, and that's the one that Arpats is narrating, right?
He's not narrating; he's one of the characters in the dub. We had our fantasy baseball winter meetings this weekend, which is another thing I'm going to talk about, at the Russian bathhouse, the Banya in New Jersey, and it was great. And then after that, he and I just went to see The Boy and the Heron, so it was only subtitled. Like there was no dub at that time, so we just saw it subs. We didn't hear Robert Pattinson, but like Arpats plays the titular Heron, who's like an insane kind of villain, but like just like a wild character. So
I've heard great. Yeah, Rachel said that like everybody said like you wouldn't recognize that it's his voice. That's the only reason why I knew about it.
And then the only other movie that I saw since then is Maestro, which is going to be on Netflix on December 20th, which is Bradley Cooper as Leonard Bernstein, the composer, conductor, New York Philharmonic, composed West Side Story. It's no Tar, but it's really good. So that'll be out on Netflix. But I want to see that in theaters.
Cool.
Because Who Weekly did a full hour on it. I'm like, I can't listen to this podcast without having seen the movie because I want to see the movie, so I want to see that. And then tonight, I might either go see Napoleon or the new Hunger Games, but I also might just do that on Thursday instead. Also, your boy Timmy Chalamet is going to be in Wonka this weekend, so that's out.
Oh, fuck
this
yeah,
weekend.
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
But like, I'm just trying to watch as many new movies as I possibly can, and like, there's a lot of really good stuff in theaters
Coming out now, yeah.
I also, Hello Darkness, my old friend, re-signed up for AMC A-List.
Oh,
Feel so dirty. Because
What happened? Movie Pass was dogging you, bro?
No, I still have it. So I was grandfathered in at a better rate. So Movie Pass, I paid $20 a month for 140 credits. So when I first signed up, a movie was like 20, 24, 30 credits, whatever, right?
Yeah, I remember. We were talking about all the pricing. What does it mean? Nobody
a movie
knows.
now is
100
45, 47, 50, 54, 57 credits. So
God damn!
Instead of seeing like 4, 5, 6 movies in a month for $20, which is absurd value, now it's like 3. Which is still like a movie ticket at my theater is $15.50. So if I see
That's
3
insane,
of those for $20, so worth it.
Yeah.
But I had this like fear, and this made me a little angry, and it shouldn't have made me angry, but I was like, oh, there's a solution, A-list. But I was like, there's like 8 movies that I want to see, and I don't know what to see because I want to make sure I make like the right decisions. And so I wound up seeing like none of them because I'm like, well, I don't want to, like, I don't know. Like,
I want to waste my credits on this movie, and it suck. Yes.
And I'm like, oh, well, I can wait for that to be on Netflix, but I don't want to wait for whatever. And so I'm like, oh. So, like, I don't think AMC has a deal with Netflix. So, like, Maestro in May, December didn't show at AMC's, but they showed at my theater. So, like, I could see them. Like, I saw Maestro there. But then, like, you know, like, Boy and the Heron is everywhere. So, Bob and I saw that on AMC. So, like, I have both. I'm paying now, like, $45 a month, which is what I was paying for Movie Pass by itself 6 years ago or whatever. But
Yeah.
if I see 3 movies, I break even. You know what I mean? Like I want to
Yes,
see
yeah,
more.
exactly.
Like I want to make money on it, but like it's not, considering how expensive movies are, especially now in like award season.
Rachel and I are getting excited. The Oscar noms should come out. They come out in February, though.
Yeah, because they push everything back. The Golden Globes are out now. The Golden Globe Awards are out.
We
Nicolas
saw,
Cage nominated.
Yeah. But yeah, because I remember it used to be like it comes out in January. They show it in February.
Yeah.
Was how the Oscars were. They're like a month behind now. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think because they push everything back because of COVID, and then they just never. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, but yeah,
I'll never financially recover from this.
But that's basically it. I just, you know, the next 3 weeks, I'm still going to just be watching new movies and trying to find my new favorites and everything like that. But basically, everything I said in theaters, I really strongly recommend. So there's a lot of really good stuff out there right now. So more stuff coming out. Go check it out. Go to the movies.
Awesome.
They're good.
The movies.
I think that's just about it, Joe. Anything else to say in this episode before we close up shop?
No, thank you guys all. I hope you have a fun time, holiday time. I'm a big Grinch, but I hope that if you enjoy holiday time, you enjoy your holiday time.
That's very sweet of you.
Yeah.
Our next episode next week is the Christmas Chronicles Part 2
Oh,
with Dr.
spoilies.
Chris coming back. And just so everybody knows, Christmas is Monday, so the episode will be out Monday morning. So it's going to be out a day early. There's not going to be another episode on that Tuesday, but just instead of Tuesday morning, Monday morning, so you can unwrap the Christmas Chronicles Part 2.
Sorry, I think Jason or Lane was asking, like, what movie should I watch that's coming up that's going to be, like, the next pit stop? And I was like, can't tell you.
But thank you all for listening. Thank you to those of you who subscribe at the Patreon, toofast2forever.com.
Yes, thank you. Seriously, thank you.
It is the Christmas season, so thank you for all that. Even Joe, Grinch, art 2 sizes too small.
Turbos for Tots. Buy some cars for
Turbos for Tots.
children's.
Or just go to cageclub.me/shop and order your local, charity George Pickens t-shirts.
Yes, exactly.
Kids be like, I don't want this. What is this?
Straight to, like, I think that the t-shirts they send to Africa that are like the wrong AFC champion team.
Oh, like
t-shirts.
undefeated, like Patriots undefeated season?
Yeah, like those children would be like, what the fuck is this? I don't want this.
It's honestly kind of a scary looking shirt.
It's kind of awesome though.
It is kind of awesome. So easy to make too. Anyway, For all things Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/toofast2forever, or at toofast2forever on all the platforms. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Again, thank you to those who emailed in. Check out our Patreon page at toofast2forever.com and our store at cageclub.me/shop, and come back next Monday for and patrons, of course, will get it earlier, for the Christmas Chronicles Part 2, which is the movie we thought we were going to see last year. Maybe. Who knows? I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too.
And we will tell you all about it
when we see you